In the opening, Clint Barton is showing his little girl toxophilism on his confined ranch, while his significant other readies an excursion lunch for them. Out of nowhere, Clint's little girl evaporates and the remainder of Clint's family crumbles, alongside half of all life across the universe, the consequence of Thanos snapping his fingers subsequent to gaining each of the 6 Endlessness Stones. Cloud and Tony Unmistakable are abandoned in space following their loss by Thanos on Titan, yet are gotten back to Earth via Ditty Danvers and rejoined with Natasha Romanoff, Bruce Pennant, Steve Rogers, Rocket, Thor, and James Rhodes. The group figures out how to take the Endlessness Stones back from Thanos and use them to invert his activities, yet learn after finding him that he had utilized the stones a second chance to obliterate them, forestalling their further use. He lets the leftover Justice fighters know that he did as such to try not to involve the stones for additional odious purposes. Irritated, Thor guillotines Thanos, saying it's what he ought to have done in Wakanda. After 5 years, Scott Lang escapes from the quantum domain to find that his girl, Cassie, is presently a teen and that Trust Van Dyne, alongside half of the populace, has vanished in the snap. Rogers has been driving sadness directing meetings for survivors actually battling with the impacts of the snap, while Romanoff is enthusiastically overseeing both Earth and the remainder of the universe with the assistance of Rhodes, Danvers, Okoye, Rocket, and Cloud. Lang goes to Romanoff and Rogers, and makes sense of that. While 5 years had passed for them, just 5 hours had passed for him in the quantum domain, and that time extends much contrastingly there. The three go to Obvious, who is presently bringing up a youngster with pepper pots, and make sense of their hypothesis that the quantum domain can be utilized to travel once more into the past and take the Boundlessness Stones before Thanos can gather them. Unmistakable at first oddballs their proposition with worry about taking a chance with his family and the harmony he has found, yet subsequent to reflecting upon the deficiency of Peter Parker chooses to test hypothetical models that would work with Lang's quantum burrow, at last tracking down one that works. With Obvious now ready, the excess Justice fighters set off on a mission to reassemble their group. Bruce Pennant has now embraced the mass as a piece of him, and has merged his own cognizance and the mass together into one. Romanoff, in the wake of hearing reports from Rhodes of a professional killer that works with comparable techniques to Barton, passes on to track down him. Barton, consumed with sorrow after the deficiency of his family, has been working under the mantle Ronin while ruthlessly slaughtering criminal cartels and packs all over the planet to attempt to work on the world that is still left. Natasha tracks down him in Japan, and after some persuading, he consents to rejoin the group to attempt to bring his family back. Pennant and Rocket go to the modest community of New Asgard, where Valkyrie and the last overcomers of Asgard have settled. They there find Thor, who has become overpowered by responsibility over neglecting to kill Thanos in Wakanda. Thor has become overweight, his hair and facial hair are congested, and he invests his free energy eating unhealthy food, becoming inebriated, and playing Fortnite with his companions Korg and Meek. Thor hesitantly consents to get back to the Justice fighters after some persuading from Rocket and Pennant. Subsequent to testing the quantum time machine on Barton, who affirms that it works, the Justice fighters are brought together with an arrangement. Pennant, Rogers, Lang, and Obvious set out to recover the time, psyche, and space stones during the skirmish of New York in 2012. Pennant goes to the Sanctum Sanctorum, where he is educated by the Old One that requiring some investment stone from her timetable would forestall Stephen Bizarre's future endeavors to prevent Caecilius from annihilating the laws of nature. Nonetheless, when Flag tells her that Peculiar surrendered the Time Stone eagerly to Thanos, she permits Pennant to make them infer. Unusual had expected for a particular grouping of occasions to happen for Thanos to be crushed. Flag likewise guarantees the stones' revisitation of their legitimate courses of events to forestall any evil impacts. Lang and Obvious endeavor to take the Space Stone after the Vindicators seize it from Loki. Lang gives Obvious' previous self a gentle heart failure by pulling a circuit in his counterfeit heart, while Unmistakable takes the folder case lodging the Tesseract when no one is looking. Their arrangement is foiled when Distinct drops the attaché after he is coincidentally hit by the Massachusetts. Loki then takes the Space Stone and uses it to get away from authority. Rogers prevails with regards to taking the Brain Stone from secret Hydra specialists, however finds his previous self, who botches him for a hidden Loki. Subsequent to overcoming past Steve, Rogers gets back together with Obvious and Lang, who currently should sort out one more method for getting the Space Stone without running out of the restricted inventory of Pym particles that permit them to go through the quantum domain. Lang gets back to the present with the Brainstone, while Rogers and Distinct devise an arrangement to take the Space Stone from a U.S. Armed Force establishment during the 1970s, while additionally taking further vials of Pym particles to make the excursion back home. While there, Rogers sights Peggy Carter and Distinct has a significant discussion with his dad Howard. Rocket and Thor travel to Asgard to recover the Truth Stone before Malekith utilizes it against the 9 domains. While in Asgard, Thor is reminded that his mom, Frigga, would pass on soon and gets an opportunity experience with her while Rocket takes the ether, the disintegrated rendition of the Truth Stone, from Jane and Courage. The 2 revisitation of Earth after Frigga directs Thor and he recovers his sledge Mjolnir, thrilled to find that he is as yet deserving of it. Cloud and Rhodes travel to Morag to take the Power Stone before Peter Plume does. As Rhodes gets back to the present with the Power Stone, Cloud glitches and stays on Morag. With 2 consciousnesses working on Cloud's frameworks, Thanos and Black Throat find the presence of future Cloud and go to grab her. Cloud acknowledges what has occurred and attempts to caution the others, however is past the point of no return. Thanos filters her recollections and finds the Vindicator's arrangement, and sends the more steadfast past Cloud back to the present as a government operative. Barton and Romanoff travel to Vormir to recover the Spirit Stone, however clashed when Red Skull, attendant of the stone, illuminates them that it must be recovered by forfeiting somebody they love. The 2 battle about which will make the penance, with Romanoff at last accepting any consequence, while an upset Barton gets back to Earth with the Spirit Stone. After everybody has gotten back to the present on the planet, Distinct, Rocket, and Flag set off to create a glove to use the stones, one built from the equivalent nanotech of Obvious' most recent Iron Man suit. Pennant volunteers himself to employ the glove and bring back everybody that vanished in Thanos' snap, thinking that he can endure both the gamma radiation and the tremendous aggravation and injury welcomed on by utilizing the stones. He succeeds, however they are very quickly gone after by Thanos, who has been brought to Earth by the Faker Cloud, annihilating the quantum entrance simultaneously. Thanos diminishes the Vindicator's base camp to rubble, separating the group and making the glove fall into Barton's insurance. The previous Cloud is killed by her future self as she endeavors to take the Vastness Stones from Barton, while Rogers, Thor, and Distinct stand up to Thanos, who concludes he will rather utilize the Boundlessness Stones to obliterate the universe and make one in his vision. The 3 battle Thanos one-on-one, with Rogers affirming Thor's hypothesis that he genuinely deserved using Mjolnir, however are each outmaneuvered by Thanos. Not long after Thanos' military grounds on the planet, Chalice shows up before Rogers, alongside the Justice Fighters in general and different partners restored by Pennant, prior to sending off an attack on Thanos and his military. After an extended fight during which Distinct is brought together with Parker and Plume is brought together with past Gamora, Thanos grapples with various Vindicators for the Vastness Stones. At the point when he's limited by Wanda Maximoff's energy, Thanos orders Glaive to have his boat fire numerous energy impacts, almost annihilating the Justice Fighters' endeavors. Commander Wonder returns, taking out Thanos' boat while battling for control of the glove. Utilizing the nanotech from the new glove, Obvious moves the Endlessness Stones from Thanos' hand to his own and utilizes them to transform Thanos and his whole armed force into debris, victoriously expressing "I'm Iron Man." Parker and Potts console unmistakable as he passes on from openness to the stone's radiation. Following the fight, the Vindicators hold a burial service for Distinct, whose infradicircular segment reactor is drifted out on the lake, close to his home. Barton and Wanda Maximoff take comfort in the way that Romanoff and Vision, who didn't return in the snap, would be glad for their triumph over Thanos. Thor makes Valkyrie the sovereign of Asgard and joins the Watchmen of the World to track down his actual reason, liberated from the weight of eminence. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Bye.